Well, this is our third friend. I'd like to welcome you to the JJSports podcast. This is our third friend. I'll call her Jerk, you know, or he. I don't really know. It sounds like a girl. Anyway, let's get back to the real show because I don't know how to turn the setting off. So, I'm Joey.
And I'm Josh.
Let's get this crap over with. We're going to try to make this a little bit quicker. We all just want to get through the day. So, it's been a crazy week. Fantastic week. And obviously, we're going to be talking Knicks, but it's the NBA playoffs. We got to talk about a little bit about other teams, right? So before we even get to the real playoffs, Josh, I want to talk just one second about the play-in round. Did you happen to catch the Warriors versus the Lakers playing game by any chance?
I did. And it was nutty.
Yeah.
Nutty.
Yeah, sorry, what?
Nothing. Keep going.
I was just going to say, what a game, man. This is like – when I watched this game, it felt like those 4 years of NBA Finals in a row between LeBron and Steph. It was just like constant domination by both players, almost every game, and it was like a throwback. It was like weird because these teams who used to be the ones and twos or whatever of their respective conferences are playing for like the bottom scraps of the playoffs. Like they're not even in a lock. It's like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. It's crazy. And I don't know if you think that last shot, that last shot by LeBron was lucky or not. Either way, it was a great shot. I got to admit.
Yeah.
Fantastic shot. And on the other side, the Wizards, Josh. The Wizards made the playoffs, Josh. What do you think about that? That's
I'll tell you right now, of all the teams that made it in, like the Lakers and Warriors were the two I had making it. I'm not a fan of the fact the Lakers made it in because we all know that basically whenever LeBron gets in the playoffs, he goes to the finals. But maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll change. Like you gotta respect him for what he does still, regardless of that. But either way, the Lakers, spoiler alert, they lost their first game in the series, so maybe things are changing. I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem to be with LeBron, fighting it out for that last spot. So, but anyway, I did not have the way it all went out, Joey. I'm going to jump the gun and go with all my predictions. There's no way I didn't have the Warriors making the playoffs, and there's no way I didn't have the Lakers making the playoffs. I definitely did not think the Grizzlies or Spurs were going to make it in, but shockingly enough, Steph Curry is not in the playoffs for
John Morant.
Feels like the first time in his career, but it's not true. He's obviously not been there before. Either way,
in a row,
Well, no, not even, but whatever.
Yeah,
when you think Steph Curry in the playoffs, you think championship. When you think Steph Curry, you think two-time MVP. At what is it, like four-time NBA Final champion or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Champ,
Either way,
all-star, everything. Best point guard.
The one thing you don't think is just good player on a fringe playoff team. That's the one thing you don't think. I don't count the playing around as playoffs, which is why I say fringe. They were like right on the door, but
it's postseason, but it's not playoffs.
It's postseason, but it's not playoffs. Like wild card in baseball, for example, that's something else. That counts as the playoffs. That
is a playoff game. Although it's
not a playoff game. This is
it's a one and done. So
specifically stated as a play-in round to get to the playoffs. So anyway, I didn't have the Grizzlies and Spurs make it in. Enough, the Grizzlies made it in. Okay, how they did it, we'll get into that very shortly. On the other side of things, I had the Celtics making it in, but I also had the Pacers making it in. I didn't think there was any way that the Hornets were going to beat the Pacers, and I certainly didn't think there was any way the Wizards, even with as good as the way Westbrook was playing and Bradley Beal had been playing, and the late resurgence of Robin Lopez dominating in the paint with those hook shots, I did not think that the Wizards were going to make the playoffs. And
can we just
enough, they did.
And Josh, one thing, can we just talk about the fact that Russell Westbrook just broke the amount of triple doubles made ever? He broke Oscar Robertson's record. Dude is a triple double machine. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, absolutely insane. Him and Jokic just triple double.
NBA history right there. That's NBA history.
I know, and it's crazy how you could do that and you're not even going to be considered MVP. It's crazy,
Well, over time, but still, he's going down as one. He should make the Hall of Fame. Westbrook should make the Hall of Fame. I'll be shocked if he doesn't.
For that alone, it's probably. He has that and the MVP. All he needs is a championship.
Yeah, it's the one thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's like that. He's like that one guy in the NBA that like has everything. He's like the he's how do I say this? He's like the, and no bias here, but he's like the Henrik Lundqvist, Jacob DeGrom,
Patrick
and
Ewing.
who's the guy in football I'm like thinking of right now? The guy who has like 0 Super Bowls but makes it every like other like MVPs in the past.
Julius
Like
Peppers?
what?
No.
No, he won with the Packers. But like,
Oh yeah, you're
oh
right.
man, no, he is a defensive player. I just forget
Joe
who.
Thomas? No, wait, defensive player. What about I don't know.
Whatever. The bottom line being is like Westbrook is that guy from the NBA who's done pretty
JJ
much
Watt? Like JJ Watt.
maybe. I mean, like he could be up there. I mean, like whatever. The bottom line is he's like that guy who's like, you know, insane every single year. And like nothing to show for it, but personal accolades, similar to the way Lundqvist has won multiple Vezinas, and he's won. He's been an All-Star. DeGrom has made the All-Star. He's won a few Cy Youngs. He just hasn't won a World Series yet. Westbrook hasn't won an NBA Finals yet, but triple doubles leader all time, MVP. He's been to the finals before. It's not like he's never been there. And so with the other two. So with the other two, DeGrom's been in the World Series and Lundqvist has been to the Stanley Cup. So I mean, like, they all share those things in common. Westbrook just happens to be that guy in the NBA. And similar to the way I believe the other two names I've mentioned, which we won't get into, is going to be a part of history.
Well, I just thought about Aaron Donald. He's been like defensive player.
That's true, but I mean, like
and I
like
think he's been to the Super Bowl. So yeah,
fair.
So
I guess we could throw him in. He wasn't the guy. He was a cornerback I was thinking of. But either way, we'll get to football later. The bottom line being though, I did not have the Wizards making the playoffs. And Russell Westbrook. I mean, like why don't we just go over like each matchup real quick?
Wait, but yeah. So I don't know if you want to do an order for this. I just want to talk because you mentioned already how the Lakers are in, and it means LeBron's like success. He's playing the Suns, man. Suns were one of the hottest teams, no pun intended, in the league, and they have Chris Paul. And I don't know if you saw that play. Did you see that play? That it kind of looked like a flop. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I
did not.
You did not see it? I'll try to pull it up if I can, but it was like look it up after at least. Okay, NBA playoff bracket. Okay, so here's the bracket. Okay, so I don't know if you want to just do a week by week thing where we would just predict the winners, even though we already have like an idea of who's leading. If you want to do that,
let's do the whole thing like right now, straight up, and we'll follow up with it.
Like to the end, like to the finals.
To the end.
Okay, fine. Okay. So where do you want to start?
Got to start Eastern Conference. I'm just going to keep this simple real quick. I don't think there's any chance Washington knocks off Philly.
All right. How many games?
No more than 6.
Really? 6? I was going to say 5. I just don't see it.
I mean, Washington played well that first game. Like I think they might be able to take 1, maybe 2, like maybe the 2 games in Washington before, but I don't think they stand much more of a chance. I feel like no more than 6. Knicks Hawks, tough loss last night for the Knicks, but
oh my God, Josh, I was so mad at the end. I was like,
I mean, like, talk about stupid shots like Trae Young with 0.9 seconds left. I mean, I still feel the Knicks can come back. I mean, they got off to a slow start. They were down 24-16 at the end of the first quarter. You don't score 16 points and then like that's not how you win a game. After you score 16 points in a playoff game in just the first quarter, like it doesn't happen. And the Hawks are like 27-11 coming into the playoffs or something like that under Nate McMillan. Like that's pretty crazy. So
it upsets me because, we're always happy about this matchup because, in the regular season, we swept them, right? But guess what? In another sport, the Rangers, right? We swept the Hurricanes and everyone's so happy. And I remember, by the way, just want to point this out, if everyone remembers, Hurricanes did not like the way the play-in was structured and they thought it wasn't fair they were playing the Rangers. Okay. Even they didn't know that they were going to sweep them. But the point is like, they were like complaining. I don't know if you saw it. Nate McMillan also complained a little bit. He said like, oh, the league wants the Knicks in the playoffs and stuff. And they want them to win or something. Like he was just like accusing. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like you literally just won this game. Like, it's just like weird.
Well, either way, I believe the Knicks are going to win this.
I don't want us to get cocky. I think the difference is between the Rangers and the Knicks is that you have way more faith in Tibbs than you do in David Quinn. So I could say that for sure. I think a big part of this was like Randall just not having a good game, but he's not the kind of guy that has bad games in a row. He usually has
like a guy who doesn't have much playoff experience. So he's got his one game under his belt against another young and really inexperienced team. And yeah, I think they will put it together. But either way, moving on, I think the Knicks will take this series in 7. Most people are saying it's going to end in 6. I don't think so. You got 2 inexperienced teams, 2 good coaches who are both pretty well-rounded and very experienced, who have done it multiple times. I think the Knicks can take this one. They've got home court advantage, and if they could steal a game on the road in Atlanta, which I don't know if they will, but I think they will because they did it earlier in the year, then I think they will come out victorious in 7 games. As for Milwaukee, Miami, it's hard for me to not give the Bucks this series, but the Heat were 12-4 coming into the playoffs. With that being said, one of those 4 losses, they got slaughtered by Milwaukee, and that was when they were fighting still for that 4 seed against the Knicks. I got to give this one to Milwaukee. I'll say they win in 6. Brooklyn, Boston. Brooklyn in 6, I think. Boston wasn't playing so terrible against them at Barclays Center. I think Brooklyn takes it in 6. I'll go to the Western Conference for now, and then I'll do the second round. And this one I'm going to make quick. Memphis beat Utah, Joey. What do you think?
I was bamboozled. Like, what? Utah? You beat probably the best team in the league? Phoenix be damned? Like, what the hell, man? What's going on? I don't understand. It's like, I look at the stats, right? And I'm just like, I'm bewildered. I just don't understand how a team that didn't technically make the playoffs straight up just beat the best team in the league. They beat, and the crazy part is, I know John Morant's an offensive stud, but you're playing against Rudy Gobert, who I think is a jerk that kind of started this whole COVID problem. I mean, obviously other people started it, but he just made it a whole joke in the beginning. I don't forget Rudy, but like, you're the defensive player of the year. What the hell's going on here? And granted, the game was close. They lost by like 3, you know, but still, how are you losing to this team? It's John Morant and maybe like Valanciunas. That's it.
Kyle Anderson. I know rookie, but like phenomenal year, you know.
Okay, I'll give you that, but it's just like, these are like no name kinds of, you know. I just like, you got Donovan Mitchell, you got Rudy Gobert.
Well, I think isn't Mitchell injured, Joey? To be fair,
I think he is. You're right. I just thought about that.
And I mean, look,
right, he is. But you still have Mike Conley.
That's fair. You still
have Mike Conley. So just, you know, I'm just supporting. Yeah, and you have Jordan Clarkson, who most people will say is going to be the 6th man of the year. Yep. So, yeah. So you have, I think, a lot more talent than they do. But whatever. I'm shocked. So
I mean, either way, I want to say the
Jazz. Who are you picking? Are you picking them because
I'm going Jazz. I think they'll win it in 6. Like Memphis already stole a game, so it wouldn't shock me if they could steal another if Mitchell is out. But I mean, like, do I really think it'll become like a huge problem for them? Like, I think eventually Utah's going to find their step. I'm not saying they'll go down 2 in a row and then win the next 4, but I think they'll overall just win it in 6. Clippers, Nuggets. Not Nuggets, sorry. Clippers, Mavericks.
They also won this game. Yeah.
The Clippers all against Kawhi, Paul George, Serge Ibaka, Batum, who revived his career, as we talked about. Who does Dallas have really other than Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, though? Or unless you think that's enough. I mean, like, real, like, solid, like, tough threats to play against. I mean, like, Trey Burke is a good shooter, you know?
Yeah,
but like
Hardaway and
Tim Hardaway also has shown up at moments. I mean, he's kind of revived his career, but I mean, like, does that scream like worthy? Like, do I think they'll beat Kawhi in the playoffs and Paul George together and Ibaka with all that experience? I just don't know if I could see it happening.
I think
it's the Clippers, but long shot. I think it's going to 7. I think this one will end in 7.
I think all these matchups involve like a point guard going ape or like a guard.
Yeah.
Right. And stealing the game. But I think a guard could only steal as many games as they can. You know, I don't think they can win a series. It's really hard. I doubt it.
Which is
why Kawhi, just like Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year. Paul George.
which
You
is
know?
why I've got Portland beating Denver in this round in 7 games. I know they're already up 1-0 in the series. I know Denver has Jokic, the MVP favorite to win it this year. Well, guess what? You mentioned the guard, and Damian Lillard this year was a top 2 point guard in the NBA. It was him and Stephen Curry, no doubt. What's the catch with Denver? Jamal Murray is normally a very, very good point guard. I'd say top 10 easily in the league. But what's the catch?
He's not in. So,
He's got a torn ACL. He's done for the season, and he can be there to cheer him on. And the fan base in Denver, I know that they just bumped up their capacity big time with the Avalanche, especially. They share the same arena in Denver at Ball Arena. But, it's going to be crazy. I say Portland, honestly. Portland's going to win this series, I say, in 6 games. And it has to do with the fact, not because I think Farku Capazzo is not a good point guard, but I don't think he has enough experience in the playoffs as a starting point guard, not just a point guard, as a starting point guard. I don't think Denver is going to pull this off. And similar to the way it ended in the 2019 playoffs, they are going to lose to the Portland Trailblazers as the team that has home court advantage. But prove me wrong, Denver, because I would hate to see a great season from Jokic like that go to waste after just the first round of the playoffs. As for Phoenix, LA, I want to pick Phoenix, and I know they won, but we talked about it already, Joey.
LeBron, man.
Can you send LeBron home?
Hasn't happened in over 10 years, man.
You know what? I'm going to do it just for the memes, and I honestly hope this is the only thing I prove the memes wrong with. Phoenix, sweep them, please. No, I'm just messing. They're not going to sweep them. I'm hoping they do.
That's not happening.
Phoenix, I'll say Phoenix in 6. I feel a little confident with that. If that they're a very good home team, and if it comes down to that, I think if they steal a game in LA, which I think they can, then they will win this series in 6. With that being said, on to the second round, unless you want to do tell me what you would change, if anything, Joey, other than that.
So, I have the philosophy that a point guard can only steal a game, but not steal a series. There are, however, 3 exceptions. One of them is not in the playoffs. That's Steph Curry. And the other 2, well, I'll get to them in a second. But let's just go to the West for a second. I think Utah takes this in 5. I don't care. That was a fluke. Sorry. Clippers, Dallas. This is a tough one. I'd say Clippers in 7. I think Luka's going to test them, but he's not going to win.
Yeah. All right. So we agree.
But the 2 exceptions are Damian Lillard and Chris Paul. Okay? Damian Lillard. See, the thing is, they do have Jokic. They got Aaron Gordon. They got Austin Rivers, who, depending on how you feel about him. They got Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap. It's a great team. Good coach. But it's Dame time. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think he's going to win in
he's
5.
done it before.
Yeah, he's literally done it before. Okay? And I'm sorry, Denver only went as far as Jamal Murray took them. Okay? And before that, they were not that great. They were good, but they were not they weren't world beaters. With Jamal Murray out, I can't see it, right? And with Phoenix, I have a feeling the Lakers are going to win, but the fact that Phoenix has Chris Paul just gives me the belief that he's probably going to will his way to the series. Remember the whole it didn't happen, but if you remember last year in the bubble, the Thunder played the Rockets, right? I think first round, I believe. I got to look that up. But basically, they were about to win, and then James Harden, of all people, blocked this guy that was going to hit a buzzer beater. James Harden. So let me just look at.
Can't defend for crap at all.
He can't. He's literally one-dimensional. Not in a bad way, but he's just one-dimensional. So, and he got I don't know. Do you remember that play?
No, I don't. I remember hearing it, but I never,
Okay, I'm just checking quickly. Yeah, Houston versus OKC. And a lot of the part of that is that they win as far as they did is because of Chris Paul. So, I'm a little stuck here. I think it's going to go to 7 games. I think Chris Paul, this is the hard one. I think the Lakers could win. I'm just going to say for the memes, fuck you, LeBron. You flop too much, but you're the best. Either way, 7 games Phoenix. Okay? In the West, I hate the Nets and I hate the Celtics, but I'm not going to lie. No Jaylen Brown is kind of telling, So, yeah, Brooklyn 5, maybe 6, probably Brooklyn in 5. I think Miami's going to steal the series. I have I don't know why. I think Milwaukee has choked the past few years. Usually they choke in the second or third round, but that's usually because they play like a lesser team. Not because of seed, just because of just talent. they play a lesser team.
Look,
I don't think the Heat
Miami-
are a lesser team at all. I don't think that at all. I think this team is like literally the same as last year, minus Jay Crowder. And obviously, Jay Crowder was a huge part of that team, but you still have Bam Adebayo. You still have Tyler Hero.
Miami took him out last year, so don't they also? I mean, like, look,
They have that edge on them. They have that personal
added
edge.
Trevor Ariza. Like, don't forget about that. I know, like, not a great player, but I mean, he's got playoff experience too. So,
Exactly. Like, and then you have Jimmy Butler, a guy that could literally be a top 5 player if you had more of a microscope on him. I just don't think enough people look at him, even though he was in the
carried that team
finals
last year.
He was in the finals last year, and I still feel like the guy no one looks at him. I love him. He's so good. He's so good. Oh my God. Anyway, that being said, I think it will be a long series just because of how much talent. Because like Milwaukee, you can make the argument that it's not the same Milwaukee because it's everyone plus Drew Holiday. Like they finally have a point guard who could play offense and defense. So
Even
that might be the difference maker. You don't know. So it's tough. And because of that, I'm going to go 7 again, but I think Miami's going to take it. I think they will. I do. I believe that. I think even though they have Drew Holiday, I think Jimmy Butler is going to just somehow block the hell out of Giannis, just knock him down to the floor in the last seconds. He's going to win the game. I already said Philly, Washington. They're getting out of here in 5. They're not here. And then New York, Atlanta, you think 7? I'm doing it for the memes, baby, and the rhymes. Knicks in 6. Okay? I know it wouldn't make sense because of home court advantage. I don't really give a crap. I mean, they have Trae Young. He's one guy. They obviously have other people that are good, like Lou Williams and Gallinari and stuff. But I would take my guys over there, guys. The only person I wouldn't take over is Trae Young, obviously, because Elfrid Payton is just – let's not talk about him. But the point is, I think Tibbs is a defensive specialist. So he's going to find a way to eventually take down Trae Young. I really believe that. And let's say Randall has another bad game. It's actually in our favor because they might not realize it and they're going to double team him and he could just kick it out to someone else. But if he's not, then he could still get shots going when he's open. Either it's a win-win either way because he's going to get double team, triple team. He's just because everyone knows. Okay, now to the second round.
Yeah, now onto the second round, and I just realized we're a little pressed for time, so let's hurry it up.
Just try to do it quickly. No explanation, just do it.
No explanation, just F it. So that means in the conference semifinals in the first side of the East, I've got the Knicks going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. And while I'd hate to see it end here, it wouldn't shock me if the Knicks got swept. They got swept against the 76ers in the regular season, but this being the playoffs, and I think the Knicks are a far better team than they were back earlier in the season. I think they could steal a game. I don't think that by any means they'll win the series. I can't see it going more than 5, maybe 6 if they get really lucky. I've heard from certain people that the Knicks might be able to beat Philly. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's get to the second round first of all.
I don't just to save time. I'm gonna bank on this series too. I see Knicks in 5. I see them stealing a game just for redemption. They didn't beat Philly at all, so I need them to beat Philly for the sake of just saying in one game to say, oh yeah,
I think it happens. Lose the first 2.
And that's fine because no one expected us.
The first game at home, I think, in that series.
Nobody expects us to be here. I think the only way we win is if we're super hot at the end of this Atlanta series. And
look, if they reverse sweep the Hawks right now,
then they have a big chance to win. But
a better chance, but I still don't think they'll win.
Okay, fine. That's fine. No one expected us to get this far, so that's fine with me. I think 5. Okay, next. So
that being said, Milwaukee against Brooklyn in the second round, and as much as I would really, really, really not want to pick the Bucks to win this playoff series, going against Durant, going against Kyrie, going against even Harden, and with the backup the bench has. And I know we talked about how good the Bucks have been and how Giannis is a multi-time MVP and defensive warrior and a giant. With all that being said, I know the Bucks are also known for notoriously choking in the playoffs. I think this is the year they break through. I think if any team has a chance to beat the Nets in the second round, it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. And the reason I say that is because this Nets team just hasn't stayed healthy. When you're playing against a depleted Boston squad, it's one thing. When you're playing against a Bucks team that has championship experience, type level basketball, playing skill and all that, and a great coach also. Nash is, he's a good coach. He's also, I think, got a better like team on paper than the Bucks, and he's a lot less experienced as a coach. I just like I see the Bucks 7 games. I think they could take it in 7. It's going to be a bloodbath. I think they're going to steal a game. I mean, like, I think that they're going to steal a game or two at Barclays Center. And I think that in the playoffs on their home court against like a championship caliber team, like this will be the year they get over the hump because they just got Drew Holiday. If you want to add to it now, Joey.
I am adding to it. Well, not exactly. I picked the Heat, but I will say the same sentiment as you. I think even though they're a 6 seed, for the same reasonings as you, with the Brooklyn Nets, they're gonna lose. I think it's gonna go to 6. And let me just tell you one reason why. I couldn't hear you the whole time, so I'm not sure if you said this part, but this is very important. There's nothing more powerful to know how good a team is than chemistry. Do you know how many games this big 3 play together? Like 9.
I mean, I mentioned in a way by saying they weren't completely healthy. I said they haven't stayed healthy. If they're healthy, it won't shock me at all if they go all the way.
It's not just about being healthy. It's not if they're all 3 there.
I'm saying that's
that they haven't really played together, man. They haven't played together consistently. Do you
that's what's kept them away, though, them not being able to stay healthy.
No, but I'm trying to say, even if they're healthy, I still don't have as much faith in them as everyone else does because they haven't played together. They don't have chemistry.
Okay, whatever. Yes, I
think that's important, don't you? Don't you think?
No, I do, and I'm saying the reason they haven't played together is because they've never all been healthy.
I got it. I'm just saying. Even now,
so obviously they can't build chemistry with each other as well as they could have had they all stayed healthy. That was my point. And you're saying, yeah, different wording. Okay, you understand me, and I'm
just saying now they're healthy, right? Now they're healthy, but I still don't have faith because they haven't played enough time together. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, and I just. Obviously, Harden could still game on his own. Maybe Kyrie. I don't think KD could. Everyone's like, "Oh, he did in the regular season." That was against like Washington or Chicago or something. Okay, this is a playoffs. KD is not the same KD. He's still good, but he's not elite anymore. All right, let's get this out of the way, please. Everyone's gotta stop. Anyway, yeah, Kyrie could steal a game. Harden could steal a game by themselves. But like as a big 3, I'm not scared. Okay, especially because Jimmy Butler, one of the best defensive players in the league, could literally win the game himself too. So I don't know why not. I don't know why not.
Anyway, let's move on to the West. Joey, we both happen to have the Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers going on to the second round. It's going to be the first time I think these two have matched up in the playoffs for a while.
Tough one. Chris Paul, Damian Lillard. That's hard.
We spoke about Damian Lillard could steal you a series. We also spoke about Chris Paul could steal you a series. They were your 2 picks. But I think this is where it ends for Portland, even though one of the last 3, this will be the third. But so once within the last year or 2, they have gone to the conference finals and they've managed to defy the odds. And it was on the leadership of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. And while both those guys are healthy, this is a new and improved Suns team. Booker is having a phenomenal year. Paul is a leader on that team. Ayton's broken out as a big-time body in the paint. And how about Mikal Bridges? I think one of the most underrated pieces of this team has contributed massively on the offensive side of things. He's also played some pretty good defense, but I mean, like his effectiveness shooting the 3, I can't see this one going in Damian Lillard's favor. I think this is going to be the series where ultimately it's him and CJ versus a team that is just too well-rounded and too well-coached at this point that they fall. I'm going to say the Suns take it in 6 games. On the other side of things, I've got the Clippers going up against the Utah Jazz.
Ooh.
And while I wouldn't want the Jazz to lose this series, I think that experience is going to get to them. They don't have a ton of experience in the playoffs. I know they were phenomenal during the regular season, which is why I could believe they'd be able to beat the Grizzlies. But going up against Kawhi, Paul George, Serge Ibaka, Nicholas Batum, and even guys like Reggie Jackson and who's the last guy? Patrick Beverly. Like, I can't see them getting past the second round. It's not that I don't want them to. I would love if they did it. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on the Jazz as a great team, even though they're still the 1 seed. I'm going to say that series goes 7.
Okay.
So that means we got Clippers, Phoenix in the 3rd round.
Yeah. So let me just ride on that. So Portland, Phoenix. I got to agree with you, Phoenix, just because like the starting 5 is more gelled. I mean, you know, you do have CJ and Dame, but you also have Nurkic and Anthony, but they don't all play together at the same time all the time, you know? It's not. But Phoenix, you got Mikal Bridges. I don't even know if you mentioned him. I don't know if you're named DeAndre Ayton, obviously. Cam Johnson.
I did.
You did say him, Cameron Johnson.
No, not Johnson. I didn't say Johnson, but like, yeah,
Look,
another
he's
very
having
good.
a good season, you know? So, yeah, I just think they're a more well-rounded team, you know? And that's kind of why I do think Portland will still a game. So I'll say Phoenix in 5. And for the Utah thing, I think Utah obviously earned that 1 seed, but at the end of the day, that was with Donovan Mitchell, a lot of it, not all of it. And he's not here right now. And I don't know when he's coming back. So as long as he's out, I don't see it. I think maybe they win a game at home, and that's it. I think also, yeah, I think the Clippers are going to beat them in 5 because no one's injured on the Clippers. So, you know, like everyone's still healthy.
Yep.
So yeah, I wouldn't, barring an injury, I would not put it past the Clippers to lose. So that would mean, so yeah, so you now you go.
Switch things up and start with the Western Conference on this side. That means we got the Suns going up against the Los Angeles Clippers. And while the Suns are a great team, I feel like the Clippers have more championship experience as individuals, not playing together. But with that being said, the only one with championship caliber experience on the Suns team is Chris Paul. And it's hard for me to bet against Kawhi, George, Ibaka, Batum, Reggie Jackson, Patrick Beverly, like the same 5 I keep saying. Even Zubac's a guy who's been with the Clippers a little. It's hard for me to bet against them all combined. You know, like the finals from the.
I mean, you talk about championship.
Arguably 2 of the top 5 defensive players in the game, Giannis and Joel Embiid. This is basically where it's going. And Ben Simmons, like very underratedly, defensive player of the year, but like everyone's looking at Embiid. Let me rephrase that. 2 MVP favorites per year, Embiid and Giannis. I think this one ends in Embiid's favor, and I think the Philadelphia 76ers get over Milwaukee. They fall in the conference finals for what, like the 3rd time in the last 4 years or 4th time in the last something like that. And I think that the 76ers are going all the way to the finals. Joey, your thoughts? I didn't list games, by the way. I think that
I'll just make it quick. I'll make it quick. So
Philly wins that series in 7. That's what I say.
Yeah, so Clippers, Suns. You talk about Chris Paul having championship caliber experience, meaning because he's never been there. You know who does have championship experience 2 times over? Kawhi Leonard. Okay, and that goes in his favor a lot. But I do think Chris Paul's going to test them. So 7 games, Clippers win. On the other side, Sixers, and for me, it'd be the Heat. This is where the Heat Cinderella story ends. You know, I do think it will go to 7 though, because Jimmy Butler, he's definitely going to get fueled playing his former team. Remember, he had a great team with them. So, but yeah, this is where it ends. So I got the Sixers and I think we both got the Sixers versus the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yes.
The first time ever making the NBA Finals. Who do you got winning it all?
Embiid had a great season, but I got to say Clippers in 7. I got to say Clippers in 7. I just feel that they have more championship experience than the 76ers do. In the later rounds, that's really what it comes down to more for me, is that experience.
Okay. Do you have
make no mistake, this is Doc Rivers' former team. And if anyone could take them down, it is Philly, but I don't think it'll happen.
Do you have a finals MVP in mind?
I feel like it'd be tough not to pick Kawhi if the Clippers win it.
Okay, so you actually addressed something I was going to say if you didn't say it anyway, but you said it. And that's why I'm actually picking the Sixers in 7, and it's Doc Rivers, okay? Nobody knows this team. Not just any Clippers team, because he's been on many Clipper teams. You know, he had the Lob City and he had this team. But nobody knows this team, obviously, besides Tyronn Lue, better than Doc Rivers. He knows all their strengths. He knows all their weaknesses. Dude literally is like a spy, okay? So, and he has, like, maybe arguably the best defensive player in the league. Like, you talk about Jokic, maybe, I don't know, but like, and you talk about
Kawhi. He's got Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
I'm saying you have Kawhi, you know, but like Joel Embiid, man, he's a freak. He's a freak, okay?
In only a good way, by the way. Like, we don't.
No. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. That is a compliment. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So he's going to have a great game. I guess I'd say, I know they're not the same position, but I guess they cancel each other out, him and Kawhi. So I think the only thing it's going to come down to is Ben Simmons over, you know who their point guard is? Reggie Jackson. Okay? Do you really have faith in Reggie Jackson over Ben Simmons? Because I don't. He's probably their weakest link, if I'm being honest, on the Clippers. Everyone else, a stud. Zubac. Rondo. Okay, Rondo's not the starter. He's a backup, I'm pretty sure. Beverly, Paul George. Like, I think Embiid's going to do his own thing, and he's going to match up against Kawhi a lot, even though they're not in the same position. But Ben Simmons is what's going to take it over. So I'd say Ben Simmons is going to win MVP, even though Embiid's probably going to do all the work, because Ben Simmons is going to be the one that's going to stand out because he's going to exploit his matchups. So yeah, 7 games, Ben Simmons MVP.
All right.
The process has been trusted. The process has prevailed. Okay.
Now it's time for us to move on to baseball.
Hell yeah. And before we get into our teams, I know we're trying to keep it short. I just gotta mention one thing. Because this when I read this, I was like befuddled. Okay, I was befuddled. So we talked a few weeks ago about a Hall of Fame caliber player, a player that will go to the Hall of Fame when he retires. Right? You remember this conversation, right, Josh? Right? That was about.
We're going to talk about how he got back on track with his career.
Yeah. So that no. But first, I was going to talk about. We didn't talk about where he signed yet. But yeah. So it was Albert Pujols. He left Los Angeles Angels, and we all thought 3 things. We thought either he's going to retire, maybe, or he's going to go to Chicago because Tony La Russa, right? Former guy, he could be DH. Or even though they don't have a DH, he's going to go to where he had the best years of his career by far, and that was St. Louis, right? Guess what? He shocked me. He joined the freaking Dodgers. What the hell? And he's doing pretty good, actually. He's hitting pretty well. So, like, what the hell, Josh? It's crazy.
I want to say I'm speechless, but I'm really not. I mean, I normally would have nothing to say about this because it's Albert Pujols and it's the back end of his career and he just went to a team where he wants to win pretty much because, the Dodgers are the favorite to win it all this year. However, I have too much to say and I'm not even going to say it all. I'm just going to summarize it all. For the same reasons, because he's Albert Pujols and he has championship experience and World Series experience and MVP experience, and he played in LA the last few years, and he's in LA again, just on the other side in the National League. And it's the back end of his career and he wants to win a championship. So I don't blame him. Great pickup by the Dodgers. We know if there's one thing they do well, it's develop players. And I know that Pujols isn't a guy to be developed, but if there's one guy I think they could help get, if there's anyone who could help him get back on track, the Dodgers are the right team to do it. And yeah, phenomenal, acquisition by them, picking up a player in a time where they're starting to put it together after a slower start to the season where they hovered around that 500 mark, a game over, a game under, 2 games over, 2 games under, so on and so forth. And now that they're finally about 9-10 games over 500, and they're climbing up that division ladder and they're going past the teams in their division by beating on them over the last weekend. We know they just played the Giants, who were in first place for a while. And I think they swept them, and they were 3 games, under the Giants lead. Now those roles have reversed and now it's the Dodgers on top. Now perfect time to bring in a guy who knows what it takes to win, what it's like to pull away. And well done. He's already hitting a couple big moments as a Dodger.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I hope for the best for him. Obviously, I know the Mets are supposed to be a threatening team this year, but I love that.
Before we
I love this fit for him, and I hope he does well here.
Yeah. Okay, and before we talk about our teams, I want to say one more thing, just because it's really cool. I don't see it a lot. I'm sure it happens. It's just this one hit my eye. So Cincinnati Reds, we always talk about 2 years ago or last season, we thought they were probably the most improved team ever in their offseason. They got Nick Castellanos, Mike Moustakas, right? They had a solid rotation with Castillo and Gray and, then Trevor Bauer. But one player everyone was sleeping on, and he had a very good game, Jesse Winker. 3 home runs in a game. 3 home runs. That's crazy, man. He did it. I don't know if you – yeah, here. Here's like, what do you think about that, Josh? Like, I think it's different than a 3-1 homer because that's just like one play, and there are other players that helped you get there because they were on base. But he just did 3 solo shots by himself.
Yeah.
That's like a hat trick. That's like a 3 touchdown. Like, that's just like a big deal, Like, that's great. Triple double
Yeah.
thing,
I'll say it straight up. Wow, I tongue twisted myself there. I'll say it straight up. I mean, 60 games he broke out last year at the very beginning, and then he started to cool off. And like the Rays as a whole, not the Rays, the Reds as a whole just didn't really do well as a playoff team last year. They played the Braves. They had one good game where it ended 1-0 in like extra innings, and then after that, it kind of just went downhill. But with that being said, like I said in previous episodes before, I mean, 60 games, anyone could get super hot, anyone could get super cold. That's why everyone thinks Juan Soto is going to win the MVP this year, because he was nearly unstoppable through 60 games last year. That's why everyone thinks, for example, Francisco Lindor is a complete bust now because he had a terrible 2020 year. And he's not, I mean, like, to be fair, like Soto's not off to a great start this year. Neither is Lindor. It's kind of the reverse for both of those guys. With that being said, at the same time, I will say, though, that I do think like Jesse Winker wasn't a fluke because
No.
he kept himself on track. I mean, like he was one of the bright spots of the Reds last year that had built in a lineup and, expected the most from guys like Moustakas and from Nick Castellanos. And even a guy like Shogo Akiyama, who came over from the Japanese league. But I mean, like Winker was one of those guys who very unexpectedly started giving them quality production. And this year, with some of those players not really hitting so well, Moustakas isn't off to a hot start. Other than him, Joey Votto's not off to a very good start. And even a guy like Nick Castellanos, who was off to a red hot start, but has kind of cooled off a little. Now they're getting the production from guys like you wouldn't expect, like Eugenio Suarez, who everyone thought had a fluke 2019 just because he hit in a good ballpark after a terrible 2020 year, and Tucker Barnhart, and now, as we're mentioning it, Jesse Winker. Also, newest acquisition, formerly other Ohio team, Cleveland Indian, but Tyler Naquin, who's come over and been a very nice surprise for the Reds. So now, I mean, like this is about Winker, and I think that he will continue. I'm not saying it'll be at this level, but definitely to improve and to become, a more regular contributor for the Reds.
Right. Okay. All right, yeah, and that's I just thought it was cool. You don't see it all the time. 3 home runs like by yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't. So
that was cool.
I guess bringing into the
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I've got the Mets hat on today. I've got the polar bear shirt for Pete Alonso. So anyway, just to address though, kind of ironic how like everything has gone south for the Mets, yet they still managed to hold first because the rest of their division just doesn't want to win games right now, which I'm not complaining about, but I'm complaining about for 2 reasons. Because one, like they're the Mets on paper, they should have a pretty good team. That's exactly the thing that's holding them back, because right now, I believe they have 16, yes, you heard me right, 16 players on the injured list, ranging from, just to throw out a few, first of all, 7 of their normal 9 players are on that injured list from the starting lineup. 6 of those 9. And the only 3 that aren't are Francisco Lindor, Dominic Smith, and James McCann, who's not even starting every game because Tomas Nido, defensive-minded catcher strictly, is red hot with the bat right now. That they've decided to hit him over McCann, and even over cases before where some players, such as I'll get into on the IL right now, like Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto, Jeff McNeil, J.D. Davis, are all injured. And that's not the end of it, because right now Jacob deGrom is on the IL, but he'll actually be coming off. I mean, today he gets off, but for the last week or so, week and a half, 10-day IL. He made a start in the minors where everyone was putting up memes saying, "Who the heck is this guy throwing 102? Dude looks like he could be a future Cy Young candidate." Yeah, we all get it. DeGrom threw a minor league game. He was untouchable in 3 innings. He struck out 8 batters of the 9 he faced, and 1 guy reached an error or something like that. Throwing over triple digits in his start. Yeah, like not over, but throwing triple digits in his start when we get it. And then other than that, I mean, like Alonso's been hurt. He just got put on the IL. Brandon Nimmo's been hurt. He got put on the IL. Conforto is hurt. Other than that, I mean, that outfield right now, Kevin Pillar also is hurt. So you're stuck with pretty much, not stuck. I mean, like some of these guys happen to be producing. But the Mets lineup right now looks something like, in no particular order, but Jonathan Villar, who's been good. Francisco Lindor, who's been getting better, but still not Francisco Lindor level the way you expect him to play when you sign him to a $341 million contract extension. James McCann, who's been Nito's been better. So if not McCann, it's Nito. Then you got Dominic Smith, who's one of the regulars who's, starting to pick it up where he left off. And then it looks something like Jose Peraza, not your everyday player, but okay. Brandon Drury, Janeshwi Fargas,
Who?
Khalil Lee.
What was that last name?
Janeshwi Fargas.
The hell?
I don't even know where that originates from. I don't know what nationality that is. Probably Dominican Republic, honestly. But I don't. And then there's the pitcher spot. And on the pitcher side, it's not just DeGrom who's on the IL, because right now you got Tommy Hunter on the IL, and you've got the Mets' arguably best pitcher right next to Jacob DeGrom so far this season, Taijuan Walker, who's been fantastic. And then all of a sudden, of course it happens, because if the Mets finally put a team down that's legit and they get the depth and they sign the big contracts, of course, the next thing has to happen to them, and it's not even the coupon's fault this time. So anyway, with that being said, they just got blown out by the Marlins yesterday, 5-1, and honestly, I'd make an argument that they went 3-6 over their last 9 games on that 9-game road trip. And it's kind of ironic how they took the most unrealistic series from them, in my opinion. They beat the Braves in a series. They almost swept the Braves in a series in Atlanta. And honestly, if not for the late heroics of Ronald Acuna Jr., who's been red hot, by the way, right now, one of the front runners to win the MVP in the National League, the Mets could have walked out with a sweep and a lot of momentum into that game in Miami, which, by the way, they managed to win. I was shocked they won that game the way it ended on Friday night, with that crazy almost inside the park home run, and then the almost walk off by the Marlins in the other inning. Anyway, with that being said, Saturday, tough game to lose. They lost on a walk-off home run from the same guy who tied it for them, Garrett Cooper. And then yesterday, they just straight up got blown the hell out. 5-1 was the final, and it really wasn't close. The Marlins scored 5 runs in the second, and the Mets didn't score until the 8th. And even then, it wasn't that crazy. But I do want to point out that from the little guys, Joey, as I mentioned, and with this I'll end, some of those guys have been playing fantastic. I know a lot of these don't sound like everyday names. They're not. But guys I know you're going to love this name, Janeshwi Fargas. Okay. Yeah. He slowly starts dying of laughter. Made a fantastic catch to rob Jesus Aguilar of what would have been you should go back and see that catch if you haven't. And even though the Mets eventually lost that game, that was the Saturday game. And other than that, VR's been great off the now I say off the bench, but he was supposed to be, but in a starting role, he's been great. And Tomas Nito's been good off the bench. And surprisingly enough, Jose Peraza, also a guy you expect more from the defensive side of things. He's been fantastic with the bat as well. And even Khalil Lee defensively has been fantastic. I don't know if you I remember we talked about it when Lardy was on our show, Joey, but Khalil Lee is one of the top prospects. I think one of the top 25 prospects in baseball. He's the Mets 7th best prospect or something like that total for the Mets. I don't know how that's possible if he's a top 25, but because the Mets don't have 7 of the top 25 prospects in baseball, I don't know how they ranked it. But either way, he made some crazy defensive plays. He robbed Freddie Freeman of some for sure extra base hits in Atlanta, and he made a ridiculous catch on Friday as well. He had his first RBI. He pinch hit in the top of the 12th. And after starting his big league career 0 for 8, and get this, not just 0 for 8, but 0 for 8 with only 8 strikeouts, only striking out, ripped a double down the right field line. The dude is a superhuman when it comes to his physique and everything. So anyway, that pretty much does it. And the Mets are still a couple games over 500. They're still in first, and they get the Rockies coming up this week in a 4-game series. So, if there's any time for them to get back on track, and they're coming back home, the Mets are a great home team. I think they're 12-4 at home this year. Now's the time for them to try and climb, those 3 or 4 games back over 500.
Yeah.
And they're getting back for it too. So
Yeah. I gotta say, injuries Worst thing ever for sports, any sport. They make a good team bad and a bad team worse. In 2019, I remember it feels like yesterday. Yankees had like 30 guys on the IL. The only people that played a lot of the games on the roster was like Glaber, DJ, and Austin Romine, who's not even on the team anymore. Everyone was injured. We had to rely on players I didn't even hear of at this time. I know who they are now, like Mike Ford, Mike Talkman, Ira Shada, Cameron Maben, So yeah, it sucks.
Oh, and Maben with the Mets, by the way, now. Thank you for that.
I heard that.
So another one of those fill-ins.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He's a classic fill-in guy. Anyway, so now we're talking about my team. Okay? Something happened last week, Josh, that I didn't think was going to happen. Okay? And Josh, do you ever read the New York Post?
Of course. Of course I do.
And you know how they work, right? Front page is always a story about something. Political, celebrity, and back is always sports. But sometimes when something amazing happens, it goes on both sides of the page. And what the fuck, man? Corey Kluber threw a no-hitter. Holy shit! He threw a no-hitter. He was on injury list for like 2 seasons, man. He pitched one freaking inning. He pitched 1 inning last year. He threw a no-hitter. That's crazy. I don't even care about no-hitters, but holy shit, he threw one. He threw one. I don't understand. And I'm like happy because we won, but I'm also kind of mad. There's been like 7 no-hitters. What the hell's going on? It's only May. And 3 teams have been no-hit twice. The Rangers, the Mariners, and I forgot the other team. But there's 3 teams. So half of those teams have been no-hit twice. Something's wrong with the ball, man. When I go to a game, I'm happy this happened. Just don't get me wrong. But still, when I go to a game, I go see the home run. I do not go to see strikeouts. They're great for my team, obviously. No, you're always going to take that. But you want to see home runs, And it's not like this was a blowout. This was a 2-0 game. It was very close. But holy shit, man. This was crazy. I think I have the page of just the line really quick. Here's the line. Listen to this. The line, 9 innings. He gave up only 1 walk. And if you looked at it, I think it was a strike, but whatever. 101 pitches. No runs, no hits, 71 strikes, 10 times striking a guy out. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, first one, Texas Rangers, not a great team. But I gotta admit, Matt, just say one thing, man. The memes are alive. The memes are alive for this one. You know why? Because it was Corey Kluber bobblehead day at Rangers Stadium, okay? It was because he used to be their player, and for some reason, even though he's not on the team anymore, they had a bobblehead day. They made bobbleheads for him, and they decided to make it that day when he's starting because I don't know. But yeah, that's the memes right there. Corey Kluber bobblehead day, okay? And I don't know if I'm going to find any other thing here. I don't think so. But another thing happened, and I don't even need to play it because I know you saw it. But and this happens, but I don't know if it always happens in the 9th inning. A triple freaking play, okay? Yankees in their game against the White Sox, the hottest team in the league. Triple play. I saw triple play a few years ago, Twins against the Yankees. It sucked. I saw it. I don't think it was in the 9th inning, though. This is in the 9th inning, and then in the bottom of the 9th, walk-off hit by Glaber. So, yeah, that's the game that sticks out to me. And then this last game, it was so funny. Like, it was so pathetic the way it ended, and it was so funny, and it was so weird. It was so many words I can't even, think of. But here, actually, I'll pull it up for you because I have it on my thing. I happen to have it here. It's the last game of the series against the White Sox. Bases are loaded. Liam Hendricks, one of the best closers, I think, in this game by far. He's up. Aaron Judge is up. And everyone knows Aaron Judge's history. He's the kind of guy that swings for the fences, but he could also just be patient with walks. So, let's just see what he does here. He walked him. It's literally a walk-off. What the fuck, Liam Hendricks? I'm happy we won. But it's so boring, It's not even like a hit. It's not a sac fly. It's nothing. And it's Liam Hendricks. I like Liam Hendricks. Like, I'm happy we won. I'm happy, okay? And we swept the White Sox. Everyone thinks they're the hottest team in the league, okay? I'm happy. I don't get it, man. I don't understand. What is that? He basically threw him like 4 straight pitches of 4 straight balls. What is that? You come in for the save and that's what you do? That's retarded. It's retarded, man.
No, it's more retarded. The fact the Yankees scoreboard messed up.
Yeah, it's at 6-4. I realized that.
It's 6-4.
Yeah, that's skills right there. Nah, I'm sure they fixed it after, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, he deserves to give up two runs after that mess. Liam, what the hell? Go back to Australia, mate. Seriously, that's egregious. Yeah, that's all I got.
Like, you might tell him as a Yankee fan. Okay.
You might.
Either way, let's move on to football.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's move on to football.
Let's go football.
Let's make
only one thing
for hockey today.
Yeah. So, no. What?
I said, like, let's make it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Let's get to there. All right. We only got one thing to talk about. Okay. The schedules are out, baby. They're out. I don't know if you want to talk about any like cool games and other teams that you were excited to see. 1 or 2. You want to talk about that? Just 1 or 2 games? No. I just want to say one. Tom Brady's going back to Foxborough, so that's going to be pretty nuts. And I think Detroit's playing LA. So after the whole Stafford Goff.
Stafford.
Yeah. Just wanted to point that out. Okay. Do you want to do a thing where we just go over the teams, or do you want to do like that plus like if you think we'll win those games? Do you want to do that? It's 16 games.
I'd say we go over Giants. I say we just do Giants.
Just Giants, and do you want to do like wins loss?
Yeah.
Okay. So we open not with a division rival.
Why don't you pull it up on your screen?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Like, I don't care if you want to read it from there, but I mean, like, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good idea. No. Sorry. That was a mistake. Sorry. Giants schedule. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here you go. Not including preseason because no one cares about that. But as just a reminder, they're taking out preseason games, not really having many because they added a 17th game. I don't know how you feel about that, Josh. I kind of hate it. I think it's kind of weird. I would like it if we had 2 buys, but no, they're not going to do that. So.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Now there's
all those records are obsolete, you know, like
the only way like to finish the season on a positive note is to go above 500. There's no breaking even at 500 anymore.
Yeah, it's like you can't have an 8-8 season and it's like technically a winning season. Like now you have to get more. You have to be 9-8 to win. Like it sucks. But yeah. Okay, so we start off with the Broncos, right? This is a home game. Okay? I actually think we could win this game. I mean, there are rumors Aaron Rodgers is going to be there. If that's true, I'm not as confident, but I don't think that's happening. Okay? They got Teddy Bridge, who's great, and Drew Lock, who I don't really have that much faith in. They still have Von Miller, who's good, and Bradley Chubb, but like, come on, man. We're winning this game. I honestly believe that. Do you agree or no?
I agree. I think the Giants could. Just don't even go like single in. Just like keep it on the regular schedule.
Okay, fine. I'm just gonna point this out. I'm gonna just make it easy. I think we're gonna start 3-0. I think because J.M. Jones owns Washington, so he's literally never lost to Washington. So I would say that's a 2-0 right there. And with the Falcons, I think if Matt Ryan is like revived, right, especially with having Kyle Pitts and everything, they have a shot. But I actually think we're gonna beat them. I think we're gonna beat the Falcons.
Yeah, it wouldn't be crazy if they started. I could see 3-0 happening here.
I think maybe 5-0, but probably not because
it's where they get to the. Oh well, Breeze retired.
Because the Saints. The reason I'm saying the Saints because Drew Brees isn't playing. If Drew Brees was playing, I wouldn't.
Well, who's their quarterback now?
Well, it's either famous Jameis or Taysom Hill, and I love Taysom Hill, but the way he was used was perfect for him. I don't know if he could actually be the guy. You know what I mean? You know.
I feel like this to be safe, we got to start him out through 4-1. Like, I'm not counting the Saints out. I'm not counting Kamara and Michael Thomas and that defense out. I'm just not.
Okay, fair enough. And then, no, it's 3.
Jared Cook.
It's 3-1, not 4-1. And then the Cowboys.
3-1. I'm saying they'll beat the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys.
You think they'll beat the Cowboys? Really?
Cowboys suck. What do they have
on defense? Like nobody. They have Micah Parsons and Van Der Esch, and we don't even know.
That's about it. Prescott's going to be hurt. Don't forget. I mean, he might be back, but I mean, like, Prescott's coming off a season-ending injury. Elliott's the most overrated running back in the NFL. And like, what receivers do they have really? Like, Gallup's not that great. I mean, like, CeeDee Lamb was good, but like,
This game is going to be a Patrick Graham special. He's just going to
yeah,
have to shut down
like
Zeke,
Amari Cooper, maybe if he
Cooper,
has
Gallup,
Cooper needs the
Jones.
right quarterback. That's the problem with him. He's a good receiver, but he needs a quarterback that like will play. Like Prescott's great for him. I don't think Andy Dalton is, and Andy Dalton's not even with that team anymore. So
Bro, they're going to get Ben DiNucci.
whatever. I think the Giants will win that game. They're going to start the season 4-1 through their first 5. That's
You
fine.
really think they're going to lose to the Saints, but not to the Cowboys? Interesting.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
All right. Fair enough.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Rams.
Rams. This is the game I think we lose. I think if we possibly go 5-0, this is where we lose. I legitimately believe we'll lose this game because they were already a good team with Goff. I think they're going to be even better with Stafford. Stafford's been a player that nobody looks at because he played for Detroit. So him with Woods and Kupp and
you got 4-2, and I think that turns into 5-2. I think they'll beat the Panthers, but I'm not going to count out like the Panthers could be. I just feel like they could be a sneaky good team. I know that there's no more Curtis Samuel there, but you've still got DJ Moore. You've still got Christian McCaffrey. Maybe Darnold will burst onto the scene because of a change of scenery, and he's playing with a team that has a protection.
He has Penei Sewell. Okay,
yes.
that's like,
and I mean, like, I think he has better receivers here than he ever did with the Jets.
He has the same receiver. He has Robbie Anderson.
He has Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Thank you for Robbie Anderson's a very underrated target.
And he has a real running back now.
Christian McCaffrey, arguably the best in the league. Probably the best in the league, honestly.
I don't know, man. I still think Saquon's a little bit better, but I hear you though.
Look, I mean, McCaffrey doesn't get hurt the way Saquon does, so. This was the first year McCaffrey.
But he did get hurt. He did get hurt this year. So just
first time ever in his 3-year career. So
yeah. Okay. And then Chiefs, it's a loss. I'd love to win. It's a loss.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Raiders,
Giants.
Raiders, maybe.
I don't know.
I think they have a shot because the Raiders
have good defense. And I mean, look, this is assuming, by the way, that Jones puts it together and that Golladay stays healthy and Shepard and
listen, if the record is what we think it is, I think they can win this game because I think the Raiders have a great offense, but their defense is crap.
Well, look, man, that offense almost knocked out the Chiefs twice last year.
They beat the Chiefs. I'll give you that. But,
twice, almost twice.
No, but they actually did beat them once. They beat them once
last year. I mean, like.
No, they beat.
I'm
telling you, good offense, man. Carr, Jacobs.
This is just a team like the Raiders. I feel are just a team that pulls random wins out of their ass against teams that are better than them.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they're more likely to beat a team that they're better than a team that they're worse than. And if you think they're better,
I'm just saying. I feel like.
I think if you think they're better than the Giants, then they're going to lose. But if you think they're worse,
I don't know.
Win. You know what I mean?
I feel like the Raiders could steal that game.
I think we could win that. I personally do. Buccaneers, we have a shot. We took them deep last year. That was at home, but there were no fans, so I don't know if that made a difference if we were at home or away. And they will have fans, but still, we were close. We were very close, man. We were very close. But yeah, it's probably gonna be a loss. I don't know. It's tough. Fuck the Eagles. We're winning this game. Okay, we're winning this game. By the way, I don't know if you saw because it technically has nothing to do with sports, but the head of Amazon, like a different guy, he said did you see this?
No.
Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna pull it up. I'll pull it up if you don't believe me. But
just say it.
Okay. So Amazon's trying to find a new headquarters, like a second HQ. So they were considering Philly, and the head of Amazon, the other guy, not Jeff Bezos, he's a Giants fan. He said he didn't say fuck the Eagles, but he basically fuck the Eagles, and he said no, I'm not doing it because I'm a Giants fan. So he's not putting a headquarters in Philly because he's a Giants fan. That's kind of petty, but after all the crap they pulled last year with the last game of the season and the whole jumping over us in the draft, I don't even care. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Dolphins, this is a tough one.
I don't think they'll win. I think the Dolphins are a little bit better.
I don't know, man. If it was Fitzmagic, I'd be hesitant. But it's Tua. I like Tua, but he has not proven himself. Can we be honest? He hasn't. He's had very few chances to prove himself. Maybe it's a small sample size, or maybe he just hasn't had enough wins stringed ahead. It's just, I think we could win. Now, when we get to the Chargers, while I don't think they're a great team overall, they have a lot of good players. And I feel like even though we could beat them and we could be the better team at the time, I feel like
Well,
Justin Herbert's just gonna
got Slater. Let's not
He also
forget.
got Rashad Slater, which pisses me off a little bit. But yeah, it's true. But like, it's gonna be hard to get to Justin Herbert, just like it's gonna be hard to get to Sam Darnold. It's gonna be hard. So even if Herbert isn't great, he's gonna have time. He's gonna have a lot of time. Oh man. So,
But
say that again.
like he's gonna be great though. We know it.
No, yeah, he is. We know he's great. He was the rookie of the year, and he deserved it. You could argue Justin Jefferson, and obviously, if Joe Burrow wasn't injured, it probably would have been him. But yeah, he deserves that. He deserves that title for sure, for sure. Yeah. Then we play the Cowboys. I don't know if we could beat them twice.
I think we can. I think we can.
You really do?
I think we can.
Oh, if you think we can beat the Cowboys twice, you think we can beat the Eagles twice?
I know they're going for the Eagles' heads. If there's one thing they want to do, if not make the playoffs, it's absolutely just like wipe out the Eagles.
I'm more confident being the Eagles just because their quarterback situation. Well, actually, most of their positions are just fucked. You know.
I mean, Jalen Hurts though is.
Yeah, but I don't know. You know, I mean, he's fine, but we didn't see enough. You know what I mean? He beat the Saints. He beat the Saints, I believe, and that was it. That's the only thing I remember. He could have beat, get week 17, but we'll never know. So,
right.
Yeah, but guess what? Who's he throwing to besides Devontae Smith, who we don't even know is going to be like ready at this time? Like, he's throwing Devontae Smith, but who else? He doesn't have a running back. He doesn't have a tight end. Like, Zach Ertz is like injury prone. And his defense, their defense is almost as bad as the Cowboys defense. They still have Cox and Barnett and Graham, but like they're still weak in a lot of positions. Like a lot of positions. So yeah. I think do they have Darius Slay, or am I making that up?
I think they have a Slay. I don't think they have. I think
they have him. I think they do have him. I'm gonna look that up quickly.
They also have Jalen Mills, who's underrated.
Oh yeah, he's good. Darius Slay is on the – yeah, he is there. Okay, yeah. So their defense is okay. It's not terrible like the Cowboys. So, yeah, we could win. Bears. I don't know what the hell's going on, NFL. Why do we play the Bears every fucking year? I don't understand. This is like the 4th year in a row we played the Bears.
Well, this is the only thing I'm going to say, Joey. Bears can fuck themselves.
Why?
Like, this is it. Like, the Giants are kicking them on this one.
We're definitely beating them, okay? They fucked up Saquon. They got lucky with the Philly special.
Yeah, screw themselves.
And by the way, we need to win this game because for another reason, okay? We own their first-round pick, okay? So at this point, it's not just in their hands. Now it's in our hands for them to suck, okay? Because if they suck
towards the end of the year, so
yeah, exactly. So if they're if they're a borderline of a top 5 team, we gotta force them down to the top 5, okay? I want a good draft pick. Fuck the Bears a little bit. Okay? I'm hoping Justin Fields doesn't get wrecked, but whatever. Yeah, I just don't have a good year, Bears. Please.
Not physically. We're hoping he does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we're just hoping he just doesn't have
I don't want him to tear his ACL, but I don't want.
No, I don't want a Burrow situation. I just want no drops, no receiver drops, not enough throws to Robinson. That's what I want.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, and then Washington.
We all know.
Daniel Jones is undefeated against you guys, and I will never pick against the Giants until he loses when it comes to Washington. I will not pick against the Giants until he loses. So, yeah, there you go. And I don't know what that was at the end. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to do the ones we agreed on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had 10 wins at least. I had 1 or 2 more. Maybe you had 1 more. But yeah, I think we agreed on 10. I think we agreed on the first 3. We agreed on the Cowboys. We agreed on the Panthers. We agreed on the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Bears, and the Redskins. So yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
10 and 7 for me.
So 10 and 7, which would make the playoffs in the NFC East by far. I would say so. Wow.
That does it for football.
Yep, that's it. Now hockey. And
we're basically going to do the same thing in hockey.
We're going to play. Just want to point out, I don't know if we talked about it. Rangers are interviewing Gerard Gallant. Or they have.
I mean,
I don't know. No, we said we want. I don't know if they.
We said yeah. Like we never got.
And I know that I didn't say this. They're also interviewing Rick Tocchet. So, fingers crossed. You know, they're gonna obviously wait it out. You know, because think about it. We're gonna get to it in a second. But Bruce Cassidy and Mike Sullivan could be out in the next round, possibly. No, wait, no. Sorry, I take that back. This was yesterday.
One of them.
Bruce Cassidy could have been, not anymore. He would have been an option. Mike Sullivan
could be out.
Mike Sullivan could be out, and he could be an option. But then again, I don't think that's going to happen either.
No matter what, one of them is coming out by the end of next playoff round.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure. I hope they put. I personally.
One of them is losing next round.
Yeah, I personally hope that it's Pittsburgh, Boston, and I hope it's Pittsburgh that prevails personally, and then Pittsburgh gets wrecked by whoever they play. That's what that'd be my dream. Okay, let's put it in. Give me 1 second. NHL playoffs bracket. Okay. Here you go. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm having a problem. Give me a second here. Okay. So here's the brackets. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. So obviously some of these changed. So we're not gonna whatever. Some people already got eliminated. By the way, I'm
gonna be straight up honest with I did this thing before.
Yeah, okay, but I just let me just get some out of the way. Colorado, St. Louis, I kind of figured it's gonna be a sweep. I thought maybe they'd steal one. That happened. What?
Make it bigger.
Sure, yeah. That good?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Carolina, Nashville, I thought that was gonna be a sweep. They actually surprised me. Winnipeg, Edmonton. I'm shocked that the Edmonton's. I know they choke, but still, I'm shocked that they're on the verge of. Yeah, that's shocking.
I can only picture you being like, I knew you were going to choke, but
okay, yeah, but let's just do the rest. So, who do you think about Pittsburgh, New York?
Other than this, I called this before. I said
it's 2-2, right? It's 2-2 as of now, I think.
You and I said Pittsburgh in 7 from the start of it. I can't bet against Sidney Crosby. End up getting Malkin in the playoffs when they have home ice advantage against an Islanders team. That's good, but without their captain, and now especially that we're seeing Semyon Varlamov not playing, the Semyon Varlamov we know he's played in the playoffs and all season before. I gotta take Pittsburgh in it, even with some of those question marks. Kapanen's been great for them all year. Carter's been a beast for them ever since coming over in that LA Kings trade. And John Marino keeps getting better and better. Adam Fox's former teammate at Harvard, both of them have very high potential. Fox seems to be a little better right now, but Marino's helping the Penguins more for where they are in the playoffs. Other than that, Brian Dumoulin just keeps getting better. Letang, we all know what he could do. And it's crazy to think that they started this thing without Malkin also. Now they have.
He was injured a lot. So, yeah.
Anyway, but I got Pittsburgh.
I'm not counting on Sidney Crosby also, so never. It will never happen. So it's 2-2 right now, I think, right?
2-2 right now. I
think it's 6. Yeah, obviously in 6, but yeah, I think that's what. I don't think it's going to 7. I believe that.
Washington, Boston. I'm going to be straight up honest. I called
that happened
5 before this series started, and boy, oh boy, was I wrong.
I'm shocked, bro. I thought Ovi was going to light it up.
I thought it was over after game 1. I'm shocked. The ball. I'm not even joking. I called the 5 from the start, and as soon as the Caps won game 1, I know it was an overtime, and I know that it almost came back to bite them, but I thought it was over. I thought 5 games at best, Boston's going to take game 3 at home, and that's going to be it. And then they won games. They won games 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they basically the Caps got reverse swept. So congratulations, Caps. You can't even get past the first round now.
By the way, so many memes about that.
Once over the last 3 years, ever since the Stanley Cup, they have not gotten past the first round.
Yeah, there's so many memes about it. That, them in Edmonton are about to be called out like Toronto. It's so sad, Yeah. By the way, I just got to point out, I hate the Bruins and I kind of like the Caps, but fuck Tom Wilson. So this works out either way. Works out either way, right? So yeah, that's great.
By the way, the only person I the only 2 people, that I legitimately respect on this Bruins team.
Pasta?
No, not Pasternak. He's just annoying. He's a pest. He's annoying.
Bergie and Rask.
Bergeron and Rask. Yeah. Those are the only 2 I respect at any level on this team. Pasternak's a great player. Like, I have to admire, he's a top 5 right winger in the league. He's just so freaking annoying, though. Like,
Yeah, but
he's not
everyone
a
else
great
you can
player. He's just like, he's a killer. And like, he's like, it's almost like a LeBron James type situation. Like,
Yep.
I respect him, but like, I don't want to root for him. You know what I mean? Like,
I do not either.
yeah. If you scroll down, Joey, just to the other side, that brings us to the Hurricanes, Predators, and yeah, I thought the Hurricanes were going to sweep this series.
I really thought so, but I guess the home court definitely helps for Nashville. I'm not. I don't. We never talked about goal songs. Maybe we'll do a thing that one time. They're not top 5, but I actually dig their goal song. It's kind of cool, actually. I definitely feel that country pride when I hear them score. And by the way, Matt Duchene, holy shit, is he proving the doubters wrong?
I think.
My God. Dude, that was crazy. I mean, granted, it's not in regulation; they go to overtime, but still, like they're fighting, man.
Another overtime winner for him.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe who do we give credit to?
I should say.
Like, is this a team effort? Is it UC Saros? Like, because he's doing well? Like,
I don't know. Well, look, Predators.
By the way, props to all the young goalies that we didn't expect. Nedeljkovic, Drieger, Saros. Swayman on the Bruins. He's not playing, and Jack Campbell. Yeah. It's just crazy. A lot of unexpected.
Wild in general, that goaltending.
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of unexpected goaltending, especially from young, unknown people. So, yeah, props. But where do you see this series going now that it's tied, not sweep? So
I see Carolina winning this in 7. I don't think that and I'm only saying 7 now. Because I said Carolina in 4, but now that it's not 4, I still think they'll win. I don't think Nashville's going to win a game on the road. That's why. That's my reason.
Yeah, I see it in 6 just because I think Carolina's just done losing. I think they're just like, no more. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're better than this, Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Florida.
Oh my God. I thought this game was going to 7.
Not like Tampa's Tampa versus the whatever.
Battle Florida.
I will say that when I called this before, I said Panthers in 7. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I know they still can, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I still, I thought this was going to 7 with the Panthers winning. I'm actually still going to say it's going to go to 7, but I will say it's going to be the Lightning. I think the Panthers are such a tough, well-rounded team. And if you watch almost every game, both teams just start scoring like crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually going to keep my prediction the same here. I don't know why. I just feel like it would be in the Lightning to choke this year because they already won the cup. So F it. Who cares at this point?
That'd be so funny for the memes. I'm not. I'm not. Your name Tree would have a field day. I'm not going to do it though, just because it's just the way they've been playing. It's just it's so close, which is why I'm making it go to 7. But they're just overmatched them a little bit every time.
Yeah, I just
I'm going to pick Tampa in 7. I don't want to. I'll pick Tampa in 7. But I wouldn't be surprised if Florida does it in 7.
Absolutely wrecks them in game 5, but I don't want that to happen.
That's what I'm saying. They're on the brink of elimination, and I don't believe they're going to lose this next game. I just don't believe it. I don't see
I think that Quenneville has to play Drieger. I don't know why he's played Bobrovsky at all this season.
I don't know, bro. He clearly can't beat.
I understand what he did against the Lightning 2 years ago, but does he not understand what he did at all this regular season?
Or last year. Last year he was not good. People play Drieger, man. Play him. Come on.
And Drieger has playoff experience. He was with the Senators a bunch of years. From 2010 to 2015, people forget he was I think from not 2000, maybe 2012 or 13, he was with the team.
2012 they played the Rangers.
They were in the playoffs, and he was on that team. He has experience, and he played also. He has experience. It wasn't only Craig Anderson that whole time.
Yeah, so play him. Why not? Yeah, I wouldn't be. I love him. He's great, fantastic. He's probably gonna get exposed to Seattle if I had to guess.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll keep him there. I don't know. Other than that,
but you can't keep 2 goalies. You can only keep 1, so it depends. You have to check his contract. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode about Seattle. Anyway, yeah, Tampa Bay. Well, I told you, man. I thought this was gonna be the best first round series, and I still agree. I do think this is the best first round series. I think Carolina Nashville is the most intriguing because, as of now, because of what they did. But yeah, it's Tampa, Florida. Everything else, I do not care as much. But yeah.
Anyway,
although Vegas, Minnesota is pretty good. Okay, so Winnipeg, Edmonton. I'm just gonna go from down up, just because whatever.
Yeah, because it's easier.
Yeah.
I called Winnipeg winning this series in 6, but I didn't think it was Yeah, I did. I know McDavid, I know, but
yeah. But now, what do you say?
honestly, like, I'm not going to change it. I think the Oilers might be able to stave off elimination for a game or two. But I think eventually when it comes back to Winnipeg, they'll get it done. I still think it'll go
So
6.
I think the Oilers, like, obviously you could say they could get swept. I don't think so. I think Connor McDavid's going to be super angry, pissed. He's going to play angry. He's going to play really well. Draisaitl scored 2 goals last time, and they still lost. Like I think it didn't matter. McDavid, I think though, will score in a way that matters. I don't know how to explain that, but I don't know. He's just gonna do something crazy. He's gonna go off, and they're gonna steal a game. And then the next game, game 5, they're still gonna lose. So yeah, 4-1. Yeah, that's why I see it. Winnipeg in 5. I just think the team is too well coached, and they have enough talent. By the way, can we just acknowledge getting Paul Stastny, man? Holy shit, what a pickup! Oh my God, he's so good.
Pierre-Luc Dubois
and Mark Scheifele. You know, like, holy crap, dude, their center core is elite. And the only reason I think they're gonna lose the next game is because their defense is a little shaky. You know, I don't think this team is gonna go far after this round. Are we doing every round? I think we are, right?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, fine.
Montreal, Toronto.
This is tough. This is a toughie.
It's fun for the memes, but like, it's an embarrassment for Toronto if they don't win this series.
It would be such a good meme, but I can't do it again. I can't take Toronto.
I can't do it again.
They need to win. They need
Toronto in 6. This is what I said before. I think Montreal steals a game at home. I don't think they win any more than one. Like, do you think more than like one more? I'm saying. Like,
do you think the Tavares hit, whether or not he would produce on the score sheet, just the fact that he's the captain, the leader in that locker room, do you think that's going to have an effect on this team?
Possibly, but he's been cleared already. Don't forget. So
he's gonna coming back. Okay.
He'll probably end up coming back. I mean, that's what I heard.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than that, though,
this Montreal team has a lot of talented players. I can't deny that. They're not as elite as the ones on.
They don't play like a team. That's what it feels
that's the thing. That's the reason I think they're going to lose. I agree with you. I think Toronto's going to win because Toronto's played. Their chemistry is insane. It's not just that they played this season. They played multiple seasons. They know all their weaknesses. Tavares, Marner, Hyman, Nylander, Matthews, and who's the last guy they got?
Foligno.
What?
Foligno, Thornton.
And Nick Foligno, and they got Nick Foligno. So Nick Foligno, that's the toughest one because he hasn't been with them a lot. But if he finds chemistry with them, he's a great player. So, you know, they obviously also have a lot of leadership in Joe Thornton, Jason Spezza, Wayne Simmons. Spezza scored, I think, one of these games, if I'm not mistaken. I got to look that up. But yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and they got a random ass.
Let's try to move it along here, Joe.
Okay. Let's just get out of the way. I think the difference is going to be like the defense because like we all know the goalies are great. But the defense, like on Montreal, they obviously have Shea Weber, Ben Chiarot, but they don't really have a lot after that. You know, but Toronto has Justin Hull, great year. Jake Muzzin, solid. They have Morgan Riley, who's awesome. And we all love Tyson Barrie, but I'd rather have TJ Brody. Oh my God, he's so good. Because he could score and he's good at defense. Like really good. So yeah, it's a good haul. No pun intended. Anyway, yeah, Toronto in 6.
Yeah.
Let the memes die. Let the memes die. Minnesota, Vegas.
I called Vegas in 5 before this series started. Do
you still agree with that?
Yeah, I still agree with that.
I'm gonna say just because
I'm not changing my prediction. Like the only prediction I'm changing is Nashville, Carolina, just because I'm utterly shocked about it.
Right? I'm seriously shocked. I thought they were gonna get swept. Anyway, I'm gonna change it a little bit. I still think Vegas, but I think in 6. I just think Kirill the Thrill is gonna like him combined with Cam Talbot just having a gem like he did in that game that they won. I think that will happen one more time whenever they play in Minnesota. So yeah, Vegas in 6. Vegas in 6.
Colorado, St. Louis. I'm not even like this.
Well, we're not going to predict that one, but yeah,
that was right on the money. I called 4-0, and it wasn't like.
I legitimately thought St. Louis was going to steal one game. By the way, it's so funny reading the comments. Everyone's like, "Remember when Ryan O'Reilly said it was going to be fun being the Avs?" Yeah, but like, no, that didn't happen. Oh my God, McKinnon. He's not the best player in the league. I don't think that. I know you do. I think it's McDavid, if I'm being honest. But when it comes to playoffs, he's like Madison Bumgarner. You know, he's just a shut off like beast. In the playoffs, I think he's the best player in the league. That's what I think. He's the best playoff performer. That's what I will admit to that right now. Dude is a beast. And Cale Makar, he's great, man.
Who actually said that? Mark Scheifele, actually. There was a video released by the NHL. They do this series called Puck Personality. I don't know if you ever watch it. But
I watch it. Yeah, they're funny as hell. Usually when the goalies say something like from Europe, like Tuca, it's always laugh. But yeah.
Yeah. But when asked like a series, like who do you think is the best NHL player in the world? And like Connor McDavid and McKinnon were like the two, and Crosby were like the three front runners, but like more McKinnon and McDavid recently. But specifically, like some of the players on like playoff teams like Mark Scheifele and Sebastian Aho, said those guys and were like, I think like, why McKinnon versus McDavid, like why McKinnon over? And the number one reason was because in the playoffs, he's a completely different monster. Like simply that. And that's
I'm saying I think McDavid's better in the regular season, and I think McKinnon's better in the playoffs. That's what I would say. Yeah, I would definitely say that. He's so good.
Not much farther behind him in the regular season, but either way.
No. Come on, man. Look at the
he is.
Look at the points. No. Look at the regular season points. Come on.
I know.
We did a whole video on that. Come on, man. Come on.
But as an overall
player, in a 56 game season,
I'm not talking points.
I'm just saying.
Style.
I'm just saying, but I am talking points in both.
Okay, so obviously, like, look, points isn't a question, but like as an overall player, there's more to a player than just points.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's true. But yeah,
either way,
McKinnon. Let me just props McKinnon, man, doing a great job. By the way, big pressure on Colorado. We're gonna talk about it one day. Their offseason is gonna be huge. Landeskog, UFA. Brandon Saad, UFA. Cale Makar, RFA. Philip Grubauer, UFA. So big offseason. So This is gonna be a very big. This playoffs is gonna shape this team for years. Okay.
Might I just point something out, by the way?
Yeah.
Now that we're done, like, because we
gotta do more rounds, but yeah,
Yeah, like, I just want to say how it's sad that we're gonna have to lose either Colorado or Vegas after the second round. Like, one of them is gone. No matter
come on. Like, you wanted
at least likely. Like, Vegas is probably gonna win. I'm saying if Vegas makes it, it's gonna be very sad to see one of those teams go before the conference final.
Yeah, but like that's the crap about this way the playoffs are structured. It's like so annoying. Like
whatever.
It's like really annoying that way.
Whichever one of them doesn't go past the second round, like whichever one of them goes past the second round.
Props to them, they made it a good run.
Like whichever one goes past the second round is the one I'm rooting for to win the cup. That's just the way it is.
So
Austin,
let's get it out of the way then, because this is the best matchup, right? Colorado, Vegas. Who do you got?
That's going to be the best matchup if it happens. Whatever. Anyway, I just want to. Anyway, let's get back.
Who do you got? Colorado, Vegas. Who do you got? That's the next matchup. We're doing
Colorado, Vegas.
1 versus 2. That's as close as you can get. Also in President Trophy's race. 1 versus 2. Although President Trophy technically does not matter, but still, yeah.
It's hard for me to bet against McKinnon in the playoffs, but it's also hard for me to bet against Fleury in the playoffs.
I knew you were going to say Fleury. I knew it. Yes.
So, oh my gosh. These two teams have never played in the playoffs before. And like since Vegas is
nuts? Isn't that crazy?
Juggernauts. So I gotta say Vegas. They've gone deeper.
Yes.
I gotta say Vegas, but I won't be upset if Colorado wins. Vegas in 7. Like it's going 7 no matter what. I will be shocked. I will be shocked if it goes less than 6, but like it has to go to 7. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, by the way. I wouldn't be surprised if either team wins because they're both so freaking good. But if I'm being honest, Vegas in 7. That's what I believe in, okay? Because you said the player I've been thinking about this whole playoff. I think he's good. We talk about the best position player in the playoffs. Now I'm going to tell you about the best goalie in the playoffs. This is like a great match.
And it's Fleury now.
It's Fleury. Pittsburgh, shame on you for letting him go to Vegas. You bunch of fools, okay? You freaking morons. Anyway, it's Fleury. And guess what? He might not be a McKinnon, but he's a damn good player. Mark Stone. Oh, my God. Probably the best two-way player in the league, if we're being honest here. Obviously, you could argue Bergeron, Couturier, Ryan O'Reilly, but I think he's the best two-way player in the league. And he's the captain. He's the I know the other two are captain, but, like, he's the captain. Like, McKinnon, I know he's not the captain. He's basically the captain without being the captain. But Mark Stone's the captain, and he wears that C. It fits like a glove. He's so good. He's so good.
You want to move on?
And Petrangelo. Listen, Cale Makar is great, but you're telling me you would have Cale Makar over Alex Petrangelo? I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe like for your future, but in one playoff year, I don't think so. No way. I'm going Petrangelo. That dude's a big part of the reason. Obviously, O'Reilly too, but he's basically the biggest part of that team winning the Stanley Cup. Obviously, Binnington. Those three. Binnington. So goalie Binnington, defense Petrangelo, offense Ryan O'Reilly. Those are the big three.
I'll put it for you like this.
Yeah.
Like if I had to compare the two teams coming into the offseason before we move on to the next matchup, but which we'll do Boston versus the winner of Pittsburgh, New York.
Okay, okay.
But if I had to say, I would say Colorado probably has the upper hand on them. If you look at Vegas, they took a deep team, and they made it deeper, but it cost them assets anyway. Like they lost Paul Stastny, and while they lost Nate Schmidt and they replaced him with Alex Petrangelo, which is obviously an upgrade, like, they didn't do much to attend for Paul Stastny. I mean, like Nick was broken out into a nice,
I would say the best they could do is bring up Chandler Stevenson. And although he's not Paul Stastny,
like that whole team has gotten better. But if you compare them to not to the Golden Knights, to the Avalanche took a deep team and just flat out made it deeper without losing anybody. They signed players because they had the cap to do that. And they traded away. Like the Golden Knights didn't trade Nate Schmidt. They just flat out didn't take him.
Let him go. They let him go.
Just let him go. They got Petrangelo with it. Okay, fine. But they traded to get Brandon Saad, and they signed who was the other guy? Like they signed someone just flat out.
I think it was it Belmar? Or no, Soderberg.
Like they brought Soderberg back, and then after that, they went out and they got Patrick Nemeth again, who's been good for them. And they brought up Alex Newhook, who's been fantastic for them. He only scored his first goal the other day, but I mean,
and they don't even have Bowen Byram yet. That's crazy.
We've seen him, and he hasn't even come close yet to hitting that ridiculous potential. So I mean, it's nuts. And I mean, I think the Avalanche probably will end up winning, but
I hear what you're saying about more depth.
Yeah, I'm saying I feel like the Avalanche should win, but I want it to be I feel like Vegas has to.
I think I hear what you're saying about more depth, but I really do believe in one thing, that I think the defense matches well. I think the offense matches well, and I do think they both have great goalies. But I really do believe that while Grubauer is fantastic, I don't think
that's going to be the edge.
I think that's the difference. I think that's the one difference about this team. Grubauer versus Fleury. Even if you had Leonard, I think it'd be closer, but I still think Leonard would maybe also, I think it'd be a lot closer with Leonard. But Fleury is insane. It's insane. Dude. It's going to 7, but Fleury's going to win. It's crazy. It's going to be the best playoff series, man. It's going to be so good. Oh my God.
All right, we got to move on. We spent a lot of time.
I got to go. So we're going to hopefully end at 5, but let's do it. Okay.
Pittsburgh,
Boston. I hope Pittsburgh. Do you think Pittsburgh?
I got Pittsburgh in 7.
I got Pittsburgh in 7 too, because they're kind of been depleted. They're not the same Pittsburgh as before, so they're going to need 7 games to beat this team.
Yeah.
But Boston's not exactly the same either. No Chara, no Krug, so 7. I'll give it 7. Because Jari,
Jari will get used to it by then.
Jari, he'll only need 7. I'll take that. Okay.
That runs is really
okay.
Good.
This would be Carolina versus, you think Florida, I think Tampa Bay. If it was Tampa, I'm guessing you would pick Carolina, right?
I would.
Yeah. How many games would you?
Not easy. But I'll say that they win in 7. I can't believe I'm sticking with the pick. I'm respecting what I picked before. I'm not going to change it because we're doing this now. And it's I'm sticking with the pick. I'll look like an idiot, just like I looked like an idiot when I picked the Caps to win in 5, and it was the exact reverse. So I mean, I got Carolina in 7 over Florida.
Okay. I think this is where Carolina's story ends. I think Tampa's just too good. I think they're too good right now. I think they're too good. And you want to know why? And this is a great point, by the way. This is something I didn't even think about. In Nashville, I didn't even think it was a problem, but it actually makes sense when you think about the 2 wins they have. The goaltending is so suspect for Carolina. That's the weak. If they had a good goaltender, a really good goaltender, they'd be the best team in the league. I legitimately believe that, because their offense is really good and their defense is elite. So I don't believe in Mrazek. I don't believe in Reimer. The Djokovic is the only one I kind of believe in, but he actually has been losing, so hard to say. Yeah, I'll say Tampa in like 6. I'll say Tampa in 6. And this is our last matchup, the Canadian division, like of the second round. So that'd be Toronto versus Winnipeg. I think this is a no-brainer. I think Toronto's gonna win. I like Winnipeg, but I think Toronto's gonna win.
I'm going with the opposite. I'm taking Winnipeg over Toronto. I'm
You
taking
really think
Winnipeg in
so?
6.
I
I'm
don't
taking
know, man.
Winnipeg in 6, and Corwin and like all those guys from Bar Down. Like this is where your
Bro,
team,
Jesse's gonna go nuts if they make the conference finals. He's
like
gonna
this
go
is
nuts.
where Jesse would be right, because the Leafs just don't have any experience in the playoffs. Like they don't get past. Matthews has never been past the first round, and he's going to play against the team in Ehlers and Scheifele and Wheeler and even Dubois on this team, and Stastny and Hellebuck, who have all been to the conference finals at least before. Like,
yeah, I hear you.
I know Tavares has been there before, but like I know I said he's coming back. Like, is he coming back? I guess Foligno's been there, but like the bulk of that core, other than like Jumbo Joe and Freddie Anderson, has never been past the first round. Matthews hasn't. Nylander hasn't. Marner hasn't.
Hyman.
No. Riley hasn't. Like, I guess Tyson Berry also has been past, but he's never been past the second round either. So
Tyson Berry's not on the team anymore.
You know? Right. Not. I mean, Berry's. Yeah. I don't know why I said
Brody.
Oilers. I mean, by that logic, also, I don't think Tavares has ever been past the second round. So
that's true.
And like so is Foligno. So it's tough for me. TJ.
Yeah,
Brody,
but I just gotta say this. I'm picking them for what you just said. Matthews has never been past the first round. But guess what? We both predicted him to get past the first round. So I don't know why it should end there.
Because of who they're playing. Like the Jets, like, look.
I think the Jets are kind of.
The Jets are a better coach team.
I think the only reason I'd agree with you is because of Hellebuck. I would agree with that.
Look, Hellebuck, like you're saying, and like I'm saying before with Vegas, right? And like you're saying with Tampa, I think that Hellebuck can steal the series there.
I hear you. And that's why I'm saying it's going to be Toronto in 7, because I do think Hellebuck is going to make it close. I just think with Jack Campbell and everything, I believe in this team. I do. And another thing, just the way the playoffs are, you're only playing your division. I feel like that makes you overconfident. You know what I mean? Whether you're the first, second, or third, I think the Jets are going to be confident, even if they're not better than the Leafs. You know what I mean? Like they might not beat them because they might be cocky or whatever, or vice versa with the Leafs, because all these teams, they only play themselves. They don't play anyone else. So that bothers me, you know? Right. That's why I think Toronto will just do it based off just the chemistry and everything. Like, I just think, you know, like Dubois and Stastny, they haven't been there as long as the other players on Toronto have, you know? So, like, that's what I think. But, yeah, I hear you for sure.
All right. Let's wrap up.
Also, I that's another thing. I think the defense of Toronto is a lot better than Winnipeg.
I guess we'll see. Look, Pionk and Morrissey is a solid first pair, but either way,
it's great first pair. But I think the top 4 for Toronto, I said already, Muzzin, Riley, and Brody, very good. I think it's a very good first top 4. Anyway, okay. So now, where do you want to go with this?
Now, based on this, I mean, like this bracket, I don't know how accurate it is, but I believe it will reseed once it gets past.
Yeah, who would play? So I don't know.
Vegas.
Should we just stop because we have different teams, or?
Yeah. So for me, it would be no. Like I'm gonna do mine. I'm saying like I'm just gonna finish mine from here.
Okay. So for me, who would play who?
So it would be here. It would be the 4 remaining teams would be Vegas, Winnipeg, Pittsburgh, Carolina.
Right.
And out of those 2, that would have to mean you got 3. Sorry, that would mean you get
2 ones, and
2 and a 3.
2 1 and a 3.
The Hurricanes would end up playing the Jets, and the Penguins would end up playing Vegas.
Okay, so who wins Hurricanes versus Jets? Who wins Hurricanes versus Jets?
I gotta say the Hurricanes, but I'll root for the Jets there, but I want it. But like Carolina probably will win.
So you got Carolina in the Stanley Cup final.
I got Carolina in the Cup final.
And then we got Fleury versus Pittsburgh.
And I did not see this coming like when I did this prediction. So I got to say, and I'm assuming this is how it's going to lay it out, unless it's going to do the way like, you know, this bracket lays it out. But whatever. I'm not doing that. if it's the way that I believe it is, then Vegas is going to beat Pittsburgh in 7. I think it's going to be a showdown. And I think Fleury's going to walk it off on his former team's ice. Just like stun them, like 2-0 shutout with an empty netter in the end. Like that's how I'm drawing it up here.
So how many games
for Carolina, Vegas, and Vegas in 5? Just that simple. Carolina has like that's where it ends for me. Like,
bro, they don't have the goaltending like Vegas.
I don't think they stand a chance against Vegas. Like the goaltending and like the defense and like the well-balanced attack against Carolina, I think they're just like that much deeper and better than they are.
Okay, so help me out here. I got Vegas, Pittsburgh, Toronto, and Tampa. What did I say? Yeah, I said Tampa. So that's 2 1s, a 2, and a 3.
Yeah.
So just like Vegas, you. So who's better, Penguins or Toronto?
I believe the Penguins are.
The Penguins would play the 3.
I'll double check the points because that's what it's going to depend on, points.
But Penguins play the better team plays the 3, right? Because that's like the 4.
The better team plays the worst seed. Penguins had 70. They both were the same in points.
So who wins? That's weird.
I think the Penguins do. They had a better goal differential and they had more straight up wins.
Okay, so that makes sense. So Penguins
were 37-16-3. The Maple Leafs were 35-14.
So I got a great conference final on both sides. I got Penguins, Pittsburgh versus Tampa, and Vegas versus Toronto. Very interesting. So
okay, well, we know one of them is a no-brainer.
Well, Vegas is sorry, Toronto. You're getting the fuck out of here. In 5 games, I'll give you 1 game for Matthews to just have a nice game. But yeah, Vegas is going to this Cup final. Penguins, Tampa, that's a tough one, I think. Just because of like all the history. I'll still pick Tampa though. 7 games. And then Vegas, Tampa. Fuck it, man. 7 games. 7 games Vegas. Okay, I see it, man. It's going to be amazing. If this actually I don't think this will happen. But if this actually happens, oh my God, this would be one of the greatest Stanley Cup finals of all time. It's not even going to be a stupid game 7 like Boston, St. Louis where it wasn't even close. It's going to be like down to the wire. It's going to be like the last minute. Someone's going to get a crazy goal. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be Mark Stone or some random ass player. It's going to be great. It's going to be like Nicholas Waugh or William Carey.
So we basically agree.
Ryan Reeves with the game winner. Yeah.
We basically agree that Vegas is taking it home.
We all agree Vegas is making it. If not Colorado. But yeah, we're all
look, let's agree. We won't be shocked at all if Colorado ends.
No, we will not be shocked. Okay. President's Trophy winner, Nathan McKinnon, Cal McCarr. Won't be shocked. I don't know if I might be shocked depending on who they play on the other side. If they win, like let's say they play Tampa, I might be a little shocked. You know what I mean?
Right. That'll be crazy.
Yeah.
That would be the
any other team though. Any other team, even Boston, I wouldn't be shocked. But yeah, Tampa would be the only shocking one.
Boston doesn't stand a chance against anyone, if you ask me.
I'm saying, yeah, Boston and Carolina, they're great teams, but they're not going to be anyone.
Stand a chance.
I'm saying like I think the 3 big juggernauts are Vegas, Colorado, and Tampa. That's where I'm doing.
I'm almost like, just before we wrap it up, Joey, like, because the predictions are done, I'm almost hoping that, like, if they make it, like, I'm almost like hoping in a way that they make it to the final just so they get their ass kicked by whoever they have to play. Because they're not going to beat anyone else other than, like,
Who gets to the final?
I'm saying, like, I'm almost hoping in a way
Boston gets to the final.
Boston goes just so they can.
I would love that.
Just so they could get there and fail again. You know what I mean?
Funny? You know, it'd be really funny if they lost to Toronto in the Cup final. if they got swept, they got swept by Toronto. Oh my God!
Might have to play Toronto if that's the case. If they make it that far and Toronto makes it that far, they would probably have to play Toronto in like the conference finals or something like that.
That'd be so funny if they played them in the Cup. But that's not happening though. It's not happening. I'm sorry.
It's not
happening.
Like,
Vegas.
If it did, I swear to God, like Toronto, you better actually win a playoff series for one.
Toronto, you better win. It's not cool. But yeah,
like against Boston. Like I don't want them to win. Like they're over. Like whatever.
No, it's fine. Whatever. But yeah, I'm pulling for Vegas. I hope they win. They deserve it. I'm happy. Okay. Let's go. That's it. We're done.
Yeah, that pretty much does it. Thank you everyone for tuning into the JJ Sports Podcast today. I'm Josh.
I'm Joey. This meeting has now stopped. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, bye.